What if I told you that AI is slowly draining Social Security? However, it's not happening in the way that you probably think it is. So in this video, I want to share with you exactly what is going on with AI and the massive impacts to Social Security with the takeover of AI and the major impacts to the overall economy as well. It's there, it's very present, and it's only going to get bigger and more pronounced as we continue to move forward into the future. Now, I also do have this article right here, which I will pop up in just a second, so you can see and read for yourself exactly what they're talking about right here, and you'll get to read this, but I'll also explain exactly what is happening. Now, my anticipation would be this. When I say that AI is slowly draining and siphoning money right out of Social Security, you might be thinking, oh, it's the bots, it's the people that understand AI, they're going in and they're taking money from Social Security. You would probably think that way, but that's actually not what I mean by that. Maybe they're doing that as well, I don't know, but that's not what the point of this video is. They're actually draining it and siphoning money out of Social Security in a different way that I also want to bring to your attention because it's actually a very major thing. Now, I anticipate at this point you've heard of AI, artificial intelligence, basically very, very smart, sophisticated computers that think they're humans sometimes, and they're taking over large portions of the overall economy. We've been seeing this for the last, call it, year or so. We've seen it showing up in the labor market, in the labor reports that come out one time per month that you hear me talk about. As we see it reflected in those reports, you can see different areas, different sectors of the overall economy that are losing jobs and being replaced with AI bots or AI agents replacing those roles in the real economy, okay? Oh, by the way, let's pop this article up right here, right now. I almost forgot. Sorry about that. Here you go. Here's the article. But feel free to read through this. Now, we've heard about this whole insolvency situation within Social Security, right? So like, oh, get ready, Social Security is going to be insolvent. The trust fund's going to be out of money in the next like 6.5 years or something like that. And then they'll need to cut benefits by anywhere between 19 and 24%, again, depending on if they combine the trust funds or not. You know that whole situation. I've talked about it extensively in other videos. But here is the situation with AI and how this is really impacting Social Security in a massive way. What are the three main sources of income for Social Security? Well, I'll tell you the main source. It's payroll taxes. People that are working, which, by the way, as of right now, the workforce in the United States is about 186 million people. So out of the entire population of, say, 335 million people, about 186 million of them are in the workforce paying taxes through payroll taxes at a rate of $12, 12.4%, I should say, at a rate of I just said it again, sorry, 12.4% is the rate, okay? 6.2% paid by the employee, 6.2% paid by the employer. A total of 12.4% of every dollar that is earned is paid into Social Security, into the trust fund through payroll taxes. Social Security brings in about $1.4 trillion a year, according to the most recent reports, in payroll taxes into the trust fund. This is by far their largest source of income. Again, 1.4, again, give or take a little bit, $1.4 trillion a year that is brought into Social Security through this source of income. Now, the other two sources of income is money that is paid to Social Security on the money within the trust fund, about $67 billion a year, and about $55 billion a year that is paid on taxation of Social Security benefits, okay? So you can see by far the bulk of the money coming in is payroll taxes. Here's the problem that's coming in, though. As AI continues to advance further and further, it gets more sophisticated, it gets smarter, and replaces more and more jobs. Well, I think you put the pieces of the puzzle together now after seeing the article and what I just said about this, which is this. Well, if people are being eliminated from jobs and being replaced by AI, that means what? That 12.4% tax on every dollar that is being earned is no longer being paid in because the worker is not there. They've been replaced by AI. So if that person is not working, earning dollars, and then paying that 12.4% tax, again, between the employee and the employer, that goes right into the trust fund, and the workforce continues to shrink, well, then guess what happens? The trust fund ultimately gets less money coming into it. Less money coming in means less money available to go out for an extended period of time. Does that make sense, right? So that's why I said at the beginning of the video, when I said AI is slowly draining Social Security and it's not in the way that you think, When we think about AI draining Social Security, we all think, the robots, they're coming in and they're literally just taking money out of the trust fund. Again, maybe they are. I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked, honestly, if they are doing that because they're very smart, very sophisticated. But really what it comes down to is that people are being replaced by AI so that the workforce is getting smaller and smaller. When the workforce gets smaller, just like in a recession or a major economic contraction, that also has negative ramifications to Social Security because it's less payroll tax being brought in. When the unemployment rate is very high, less people are working, just like what we saw back in 2020 when we saw a huge spike in the unemployment rate because everything was closed down. We saw significantly less money coming into Social Security through those payroll taxes. Does that make sense? So that is the major threat as we continue to move forward, is that as AI continues to evolve and gets smarter and smarter and replaces more and more jobs, that's that tax revenue that is not being brought into the trust fund, right? That's what that's all about. And again, this is the biggest source of income that Social Security has. So as the biggest source of income that Social Security has continues to deplete because of less and less workers, now we have a bigger and bigger situation on our hands. What's actually kind of interesting about it is that there are some people out there that have suggested we need to tax the robots. We need to have a robot tax, which, they've actually thought about it and they've considered implementing that, hey, if these corporations and these huge companies are literally laying off hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people, and across the entire economy, millions and millions and millions of people are being laid off, well, if these people are not getting jobs because, they've been replaced, then where's that revenue going to come from? And that's literally something they've talked about, is that a compute tax. They've literally talked about it, and they've called it a compute tax. That's what that would be. So literally, obviously AI, computers, sophisticated technology, things like that. So they literally want to put a tax on basically computing power. It's a real thing. Look it up. It's actually very, very interesting if you look into this a little bit. But obviously nothing like this has come about yet. But I'm going to say this much. If AI really does take over to the degree that many people are projecting, and if AI really replaces as many jobs as they're projecting, there will 100% be an AI tax, a compute tax, something like that, a robotics tax. Who knows what they're going to call it? I anticipate it's going to be called something along the lines of a compute tax. And who knows? Maybe these large corporations would also be penalized in some way, a financial penalty to them if they actually lay off all these different people. There may be some kind of dollar amount placed on each individual person that is laid off, and they put that dollar amount and say, hey, you have to pay this fee, this tax, for every individual that you lay off from your corporation. Okay, there's all of these ideas have been floated out there, and they've discussed all of these in the event and when. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of just when AI takes over to the capacity that all of a sudden so many of these millions of jobs are literally replaced by AI. It's a real thing, and it's happening. And realistically, it's probably not going to be all that many more years until we're seeing a meaningful impact across the overall labor market with just replacement of AI. Now, obviously, as I mentioned earlier in this video, we have seen some impact in the overall labor market. It hasn't been significantly pronounced, but we absolutely have seen it in the labor reports that come out one time per month that you hear me talk about. We've absolutely seen it in some different sectors of the labor market. We've absolutely seen it coming in as well. But it has not been widespread, massively pronounced, whoa, look at this, AI has taken over large sections of the economy. But we're absolutely seeing it, and we have been, for the last, call it 6 or 8 months or so, it's absolutely showing up in the labor market report. So very interesting. Anyways, I want to point this out for you really quickly. There's nothing to worry about now, and I just want to say this much. There's nothing to worry about with Social Security as a whole at all, ever. Don't worry about Social Security, but it is something we probably need to continue watching very closely, because ultimately, if they do nothing about this, it'll ultimately impact Social Security in a massive way, because that's a lot of revenue that's not coming into Social Security. And if Social Security does not have the revenue coming in, that means they also don't have the revenue to pay out to the beneficiaries, if that makes sense, right? So remember, money coming into Social Security goes right back out to the beneficiaries, okay? And with more and more people claiming Social Security on Social Security benefits, okay, that means the the people that are working need to continue to basically be there to fund the program to push back out to the beneficiary. If that doesn't happen, then we see the depletion of that the trust fund significantly faster, and then we have a major issue on our hands. Okay, and again, that's years out into the future. Don't worry about it right now, but I'm just saying something they certainly need to continue watching very, very closely. All right, anyway, hope this helps you to some degree. And again, if you are on Medicare right now, 2026, if you're on Medicare at all, you ever have any questions on Medicare, you need help finding the right Medicare coverages for you, if you have a special enrollment window open up for you, or whatever the situation is, and you need help finding the right Medicare coverage. Again, connect with Chapter right there. Phone numbers that are on the screen for you. They've already connected with thousands and thousands and thousands of you in this community that have, those of you in this community that have called them, got free help from them, and whatever it happens to with your Medicare plan, they have helped tons of you. In fact, I have here, again, I need to update this stack here, but stack multiple pages here. These are just some of the comments that I've received from those in this community reaching out. Again, over the last couple months here, reaching out. I called them, saved a whole bunch of money. I called them, got a better plan, got better coverage. I can still see my doctor. I saved, hundreds of dollars a month, thousands of dollars a year, whatever it happens to be. Again, all these pages. And then I also have this document as well, which is literally just names and the amount of money they saved on a monthly and annualized basis. Absolutely amazing. These 2 pages alone account for hundreds of thousands of dollars of savings from those of you in this community. And collectively, those of you in this community have saved multiple millions of dollars in savings just literally by calling Chapter right there for free, getting help with your Medicare. The trusted advisor will take all the time that you need on the phone with them, answering your questions, addressing your concerns, looking through your situation, finding the best coverages for your personal needs so you can see the doctors you want, the providers you want to see, the offices, the clinics, the hospital systems, whatever it happens to be. They will take all the time that you need to find whatever is best for you that you actually want and need based on your preferences, the providers you want to see, and any prescriptions that you may be taking. They're going to find it for you. Anyway, after you talk to them, by the way, drop a comment down below on any video here on the channel. It doesn't matter. Just make sure you use the word chapter within your comment, and I'd love to see your comment. And I'll also add your comment to this long list of all these pages here. I'll add your comment to that, and I will continue to feature your comment in upcoming videos. All right, anyway, hope this helps you. Again, please subscribe if you're new here. Please share the video. Big share button down below. Subscribe button right down below as well. Otherwise, drop your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. Until next time, please have a nice day. Take care. Hope this helps you, and I'll see you again very later in the very next video. All right, enjoy.